you are with Chef Williams, and he is going to provide 4 different great Italian recipes. All I can say is stazzo delizioso.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 3 of Everybody Eats with Mandel. Today I've got Nolan here with me. He's going to be helping us cook today. On the menu today, we're going to make some blackened salmon with a Tuscan tomato cream sauce, and we're going to be using our ricotta cheese gnocchi as well. First thing we're going to do today, we're just going to make the salmon. We're going to get it seasoned up, some salt and pepper, a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. We're going to pan sear that off and get it nice, crispy, flaky skin. After that, we're going to cook our gnocchi. And while the gnocchi is cooking, we're going to get all our rest of the ingredients in there, our shallots, our chopped tomatoes, a little bit of sage. We're going to cook that down with some white wine, let it reduce a bit. We're going to add some black garlic, which we don't use often, but it's really good. And then we're going to add a little bit of cream to make that sauce creamy. It's going to come together really nice. I think you're going to like it. So let's get started with the salmon. With that first, we're going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to let you go ahead and do the seasoning, man. There you go. Perfect.
Some Old Bay, right?
A little bit of Old Bay on there, man. Perfect.
It's not coming out too well. Good enough, right?
That looks great. You're doing a great job, Nolan.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so Nolan here is new to Domus, correct? New to
I am,
Mandel?
yeah, a couple weeks here.
What are you doing with them?
So I'm the new leasing agent for Domus here. I'm really essentially helping all of our prospective residents find their new apartment home.
Awesome, man, awesome. Next step, we're gonna go right into cooking this salmon. We've got our pan hot here. We're gonna add some oil to the pan. And then presentation purposes, you wanna get that mud flap on the bottom. You wanna sear off the other side first. We're gonna get that in there, let that cook. Alrighty, so you wanna cook the salmon until it's about medium rare, and then you wanna pull it off. Leave the pan hot, because we're gonna get all our other ingredients in there. So here we've got some sliced shallots, some assorted grape tomatoes, we got some sage leaves here, and some lemons.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with the shallots. We're gonna get those right in the pan. We're gonna let those sweat a little bit. They will start to separate as they cook, so you don't have to worry about getting them too separate too fast.
Okay.
So we're gonna play around with that. Once these start to wilt a little bit, we're gonna add the tomatoes in. We're gonna pour the wine in, sage leaves. We're gonna let it reduce. It's gonna sit, cook and boil for a little bit, and then we're almost done. So we're almost in the home stretch. If you want to get that a little flip, I'm gonna have you add the tomatoes in there. And you got family in this building, correct?
I do, yeah. He's actually right below us.
LA natives.
LA natives. Again, not sure why he decided to move to Wisconsin from LA, but each their own, right?
Yep, yep. Well, we are glad to have you guys with us.
Yeah.
You're a natural.
Spend a fair amount of time in the kitchen. And then let that sit for now.
And let that sit
Awesome.
just for a second. Let those flavors marry a little bit, give it a little toss. Next stop, we're gonna add in, I'm sorry, I almost forgot about our star ingredient here. This here is black garlic. It's a little bit sweeter than normal garlic. It's got a really strong umami type flavor in there. That's gonna add some great depth to this dish that you don't get normally. It's gonna add a strange color that you won't normally see. And if you can smell that, it kind of almost smells like soy sauce a little bit, right? That part will dissipate the longer it cooks, and it'll start to smell a little bit sweet, like you got sugar in there, along with the sugars from the tomatoes. So now that we've done that, we're gonna add in our wine. About half this bottle. Turn up our heat to high. Make sure everything is covered. Toss in our sage leaves. We're gonna let that sit and reduce until it gets kind of syrupy.
Okay.
Alrighty, so now that this sauce is reduced enough, you see how everything's kind of getting wilted in there, kind of falling, breaking down a little bit, marrying each other. We're gonna start cooking our pasta now. So we've got our gnocchi ready in our
Throw it in
ladle.
there?
Yep, throw that in the water. Again, I'm gonna tell you one more time, you will know your gnocchi's done when it starts to float. So we're gonna let those guys hang out in there. Next, to make this sauce even more delicious, I know you're excited for it, we're gonna add a little bit of this heavy cream in here.
Everything's better with cream and dairy, right?
Everything is better when you add a little bit of unhealthiness to it. So we're gonna get that in there. You look stronger than I do, so I'm gonna have you squeeze these lemons in there. They are seedless, so you don't gotta worry about that.
So then you can buy seedless lemons.
You can buy anything nowadays, man. You can buy this whole dish without me.
It won't be as good though. It's lacking the love.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna let that sit and we're gonna throw our salmon back in there and let that finish cooking up to a nice medium. This sauce will get thicker as it cooks. Throw that back in there, right where it's boiling. Let that sit. Those guys are gonna hang out for a little bit. Check on our gnocchis. They're not floating yet, but they're almost there.
So as a private chef, you ever get any weird requests?
I've gotten some weird requests, man. I've gotten a few requests to make McDonald's. People have asked me to make the McDonald's.
Good, authentic gourmet
Some
McDonald's.
fresh McDonald's. People have asked me to make things that their grandma have made that don't actually exist. You know, a lot of families have recipes that their grandma made up, and they're like, "Hey, can you make this for me?" And I'm like,
That's not
"Never heard of it,"
Yeah.
but I'll do my best. And yeah, I mean, you get just like with any profession, you get a lot of strange questions. People ask me all the time, like, you know, how come you're so skinny and you eat all day? I'm like, well, if I just ate all
Work
day,
it off. Or I'm
it'll
standing
work it
all
off.
day cooking it. So
I don't want to be
balances
unhealthy.
out.
Just swirl that around. Kind of want to let the sauce get on as much of the salmon as we can, just so that that flavor will kind of start to cook in there. I'm going to throw some of this on top of there. Soak up all the love in there. Looks like our gnocchis are starting to float.
A little swirl.
Slide behind you there. I'm gonna have you throw those into here when you are done.
For a minute or so.
Yeah, once the last one starts to float, you can start pulling them out.
Consider that sufficient.
You'll be a professional before tomorrow. No worries. Nice. So this is just about done. As you can see, our sauce is thickening up. I'm gonna push this salmon to the back. Add our gnocchis in. A little more salt and pepper.
No, that's a technique. You showed me that.
I should have showed you
Made me
the
look
twist.
like a fool on camera.
The back and forth. Mix that up. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. This recipe was created on a whim. Not today whim, but I was short on ingredients and I was trying to impress my wife. And she said she wanted Italian, so I got all the ingredients in my house that I thought were Italian, and I put them all in the pot together. And by the grease, I got lucky and it came out good.
Yeah.
But that's how this recipe was born. I'm gonna plate this up. Plates right here. So we're gonna turn our fire off. Get this out of our way. And I'm gonna grab some tongs. I'm gonna pick up the salmon. And I'm gonna just pour this in there. Try to get all the love out of the pan. So to that, we're gonna add some of our parsley.
Perfect.
Clean that up a little bit for you. And because you helped me out so much, man, I'm gonna have you dig in and give
Don't
that
mind
a
if
try.
I do. Bit of the salmon. I'm gonna burn my mouth, but I think it'll be worth it.
Be honest, man. Let me know how you think.
Bottom of that plate's a little hot.
And there you have it,
Money.
guys. Blackened salmon, Tuscan tomato cream sauce,
Awesome.
and our homemade ricotta cheese gnocchi once again. Thank you guys for joining us.